Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we gotta talk about the so-called surge for polling when it comes to Kamala Harris, and a lot of people are like, "Okay, um, here, what's going on when it comes to Kamala Harris?" A lot of people are worried. A lot of people aren't worried, and I want to tell you, I am not really condoning um none of those people. I think both people are in the right when it comes to being concerned about the Harris campaign and what her campaign kind of jeopardizes our campaign and how we're going to get the White House and just overall confidence in general. I think Newt Gingrich came out and speaking out and saying, "Hey, we can't underestimate this woman. We can't think she's going to lose. We can't keep thinking she's going to lose in a landslide." It's true. We just cannot keep thinking that. That is foolish, and that is a great way to destroy our own campaign. That's part of the reason why we lost 2022 was we thought it was going to be a red wave. We walked into the race thinking it was going to be a red wave. That was a foolish mistake, and I will continue to believe that. I will admit I am not 100%. I'm not saying I wasn't not 100% guilty of that. Also, I did believe that yeah, Republicans are going to be doing great, but to a point, I'm like, you know what? I still see the energy in the anti-Trump crowd. And that's just the thing. They're not just anti-Trump; they're anti-GOP, and they're pro-progressive. And you gotta look at that movement. You gotta look at the movement and the Roe v. Wade riots and all that stuff. You think those people aren't going to show up and vote for Democrats? How did they get on the streets? Who mobilized them and put them on the streets? The media, right? So it only makes sense if the media mobilizes these voters, these protesters, or just demonstrators in general, these individuals, and put them on the streets of, let's just say, New York, or and vote. That's what it takes. So yes, everything is still looking good as of right now. Trump is leading by 1.3. And again, um, I would prefer to see it higher, but guess what? The rhetoric that Kamala Harris is totally beatable is completely foolish. I am going to be completely honest with you. We cannot keep going with this rhetoric, guys. It is going to destroy our campaign. When will the GOP learn that the idea is, oh, this is going to be easy? Oh, no. No, it's not going to be easy. In fact, it will indeed be pretty hard. As you'll see, this is during 2024. This is 2024. But yes, you'll see this is the current polling situation. Yeah, Harris is rising, Trump is diving, and that is the current situation. I mean, there is a reason why Harris is rising. What did Harris do? Harris didn't take a bullet. Yeah, and that's the thing. The reason why Harris is rising is the groups that didn't that weren't really excited or motivated by the current president Joe Biden are now defecting to Harris because um did people vote for Joe Biden because they liked Joe Biden, the woke mob? No, they didn't. They voted for Biden because they were excited about Harris. So that's the thing. People say, "Oh, Harris leaving Harris now replacing Biden with Harris is a win for Republicans." Not really in my opinion. It really does depend. It does depend. Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. When it comes to in this case, um I would say um motivation. Joe Biden What does he defect to? What crowd does he get excited? Just NPCs, Democrat NPCs in general. The people that love the Democrat Party. Why should woke people vote for Joe Biden? They don't care about Joe Biden because Joe Biden's a white, straight, old male. So why should they go out and vote? They'll vote for him when it comes to Donald Trump, but they're not going to jump up and down and get excited. But when you put a woman who happens to be a person of color on the stage, that's going to trigger tons of momentum for the woke mob. So supposedly the woke mob was divided and they weren't so unified when Biden was in this race. Keep in mind, the woke mob, sure, they'll continue. Some woke people would vote for Biden because like the View says, Kamala's on the ticket. So everyone should come out and vote for Kamala Harris, right? Everyone should come out in droves and support Kamala Harris. And but here's a twist. If Kamala Harris is on the center of the ticket, well, it's going to be much harder to get all these woke people, these people that vote on the lens of race and sex and gender, and it'll be much harder to keep them home. In fact, I'll tell you right now, a lot of these pro-Palestine people are on the Harris train right now. They, once again, they're like, they gave some grief and beef towards Kamala Harris, kind of supporting Joe Biden, but Harris has made a huge turnaround, and rightfully and smartly so. She avoided Netanyahu's address to the United States Congress. That was pretty smart, and she did that deliberately and on purpose. Although being staunch opponent of anti-Semitism, she did make it clear that, once again, she does not approve of what's going on in Israel. And part of the reason was she excused herself from the hearing, or the address that Netanyahu ended up giving to the United States Congress. That, once again, a lot of I would say anti-Democrat establishment populists could say that was fake, but a lot of people are like, you know what? At least she's making an effort. And to be true, guys, a lot of these pro-Palestine people will always be Trump deranged. They rather vote for her now than vote for Trump. So now they're saying, okay, we rather not have Trump back. So why is she rising? There's different reasons. A, the pro-Palestine movement is returning to the Democrat Party. That makes sense, right? This is her best polling yet, all the way to the tippy top. Will she surpass Trump in the polling here? I don't know. I will have to say she does have a chance to surpass Trump. I'll be completely honest with you. There is a 1.3% gap. This used to be a 2-pointer. And in 1 week, Trump went down a point. And hopefully, hopefully this is it. This is it, hopefully. But we got to remember, we have a progressive country, a progressive base in this country. And although they're not really motivated to vote for Joe Biden, that doesn't mean they're going to not be motivated to vote for any Democrat. In fact, if you put a Democrat, it happens to be a person of color and a woman, they'll go out and jump and support her. And that's what we're seeing with Harris. So is the polling surge fake? No, it isn't fake. And people that say it is, stop. Because you are obviously coping. You're coping. Is it frustrating? Yes. But part of fixing the situation and stopping the surge is admitting that there is a surge. Yes, there is a Kamala Harris surge. Yes, a lot of Democrats like Kamala Harris. A lot. And they would better prefer her than Joe Biden. That is the truth. Getting Joe Biden out of this race was the most stupidest thing. Stupidest thing. And to think, oh, people would rather support Joe Biden. No. No, because you got, if you put Kamala Harris in, then the pro-Palestine mob, the racial supremacist mob, and the feminist mob, they jump on the Democrat train again. As if you had Joe Biden on there, they wouldn't have been on there in droves. I'm sure some would, but not most of them. The Democrat, we know the pro-Palestine mob wouldn't support Joe Biden, but now Joe Biden's gone and Kamala Harris is in. Oh, it doesn't really matter if Kamala Harris isn't the head of. It doesn't matter if she's in the ticket. It really doesn't. There's still. She's running the said. She's running the show. So, and it's going to take a lot for Trump to prove that, because a lot of Americans are uninformed of the current situation in our government. A lot of people say Joe Biden's the head of state, therefore he must have some sort of cognitive ability. Like, he sits on the chair and they say, you want to do this, yes or no? And he just says yes, or he says no. No, we know Kamala Harris and what she has done. She has some sort of influence in the Israel-Hamas war. And now she's countering. She's like, nope, I'm backpedaling. And a lot of people are believing her because she's not the commander-in-chief. She's not the official leader of the country, and it's not her place to tell Israel to stop. It's foolishness. So I'm all for stopping the surge. I find it to be very concerning, if you ask me. Do you think Kamala Harris will win? No, because although this is nationwide polling, because if Kamala Harris gets the popular vote, guess what? We still win by the electoral vote. So it's not over. The doomsday Republicans, they're saying it's over. Chillax. Trump has had a overwhelming lead in national polling throughout this whole cycle. He's most likely going to win. But Kamala Harris's chances of winning are rising every day. Okay? That is the fact. That is the fact. And as long as it continues like this, I'm sorry, Donald Trump's not going to carry New York. He's not going to carry New Jersey. That is fantasy. Fantasy. So if Republicans saying, oh, she's going to carry New Mexico, no. Because Democrats will not let Trump win. And as long as they have the media on their side, social media, big tech, and major corporations on their side to push narratives, then guess what? You could expect Donald Trump to carry the swing states. Sort of what we're seeing right now. You'll see Kamala Harris's favorability has surged. She is way more popular now than she was ever. Why do we have a reason to not like her? Well, honestly, we know she's running the show. We know she's blatantly lying to the American people. But that doesn't appear to appeal to most Americans, foolishly. They really don't. Unfortunately. Very unfortunate. You'll see. I don't know, this is her best. This is probably her best since 2021. But yeah, do you think she'll get a better favorability? No. Well, here's the thing. She reached a favorability in a morning consult poll, an ABC News poll. Um, the fact is, this is a search, and we know why. We know why, guys, because we have the racial mob, the feminist mob, the pro-Palestine mob. We got more voters jumping on the ticket, and that means we're rising back up again. That's concerning. Supposedly, older voters are backing out now. That might benefit Trump a little bit. But I don't know, guys. All I know we got to do is stop thinking this is fake. Because if this gets worse and we continue to say it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, no. And we get to election day, and I'll say I told you so. This is why we lose. Because we underestimate our opponent. And right now, a lot of us are underestimating Kamala Harris. Yeah, she's very foolish. Very foolish. But that doesn't mean we underestimate and think, oh, she's going to lose because no one likes her. No. That's phony business. Betting odds is on our side. That's good. Kamala Harris, generally a weak player. Generally. But has she actually been in a competitive race? Here's the thing. A lot of people talk about this election, California Attorney General election of 2010. And they say, oh, look, Kamala Harris won by 1 point, not even a point. And I'm like, I don't think that really matters. Yes, it's California. You overperformed your said performance. Yes, she really underperformed Jerry Brown's performance. But we're talking about this election 14 years ago, guys. 14 years ago. And not to mention, California was not that woke back then than it is today. Not to mention 2014, she rebooted. She rebooted 57.5%. Not really the best. But I'm telling you, to think, oh, yes, Kamala Harris did a bit bad, that doesn't mean she is weak. It could be because Steve Cooley is well liked or well locally known across California. So yes. So I'm telling you, should we panic, Republicans? Should we panic? No, we shouldn't panic, because when we panic, everything goes wrong. And when we panic and we try to run this race at the same time, yeah, it goes downhill. No, we need to be alert and know what's going on. We got to continuously update ourselves with these polls. 2 years ago, I hated looking at the polls. I absolutely hated it because it was nothing but bad news. I didn't want to be concerned by these polls. I took a look at one poll from Minnesota in the gubernatorial race in 2022 showing Scott Jensen winning. And I thought, oh my goodness, he's going to win. Boy, if I because I didn't update myself and look at the previous polling in the Minnesota gubernatorial race, I was very disappointed to see that Tim Walz won re-election. You see one poll and you think, oh, it's over for so-and-so. No. Update yourself. And even then, polls, they're not always correct. they're not always correct. And what I'm seeing from conservative commentators, they're saying, oh, all these Kamala Harris polls are inaccurate. Well, guess what? To go and say they're inaccurate is basically saying that there is no such, they didn't legitimately win the poll. The fact of the matter is they won the poll. Is it accurate? That's an opinion. That is an opinion. But the fact of the matter is this poll affects the turnout right here. Trump has an average of 1.3, 1.4. 1.4. I want this number to rise. Do you think this is a honeymoon phase for Kamala Harris? Absolutely. But do you think the honeymoon phase will end? Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's going to end within a week. You know what? I think it's going to end within a couple months. Let's be honest, guys. Do you not know the woke mob? Do you not know the woke mob? They jump up and they get so excited over a month. June. They get so excited. They do parades. They get hyped up for June. All the way through. If they can get their excitement up for 1 month, for a month that they know is coming up, like it's April, 2 more months till Pride Month. They know it's coming up. And it's hits June 1st. You're cracking up that energy. Then they're definitely get excited when Kamala Harris becomes the second woman to become the Democrat nominee, to become a nominee of a major political party in a presidential election, and possibly becoming the first woman president. They'll go up and jumping up and down and try to build that momentum. Is she having a better chance than Hillary Clinton? No, not according to these polls. No. And in fact, I don't think Harris won a poll in 2023. She's winning polls now, and that's because she announced her candidacy. And now it's possible. But can we win this? Absolutely. I do think Trump still wins the popular vote. But we need to count every poll. And when we see a mistake, we need to say, hey, how do we fix it? How do we fix it? Do you want to admit that Kamala Harris is actually surging? It's hard. It really is hard. I know. To see all that gain we made from the debate and from the assassination attempt go away like that. Because we have a woman of color. I'll tell you, it's not because of the debate. It's not because of the assassination. It's not that. It's because of Joe Biden, right? It's just because of Joe Biden, because Joe Biden isn't a leader. Kamala Harris, as long as she talks nonsense, she can win. She can win. So let's not downplay this, because that will not help our cause. It will hurt it. And ultimately, state polling, it matters more. State polls matter more than national polls. That ultimately, and if Trump loses the popular vote and wins the Electoral College, it would be another election where Democrats will be framing and demonizing the Electoral College. So far, Kamala hasn't won a poll in Arizona. That's good. Kamala hasn't won a poll in Georgia. Let's keep it that way. Let's see. Kamala has won one poll in Michigan. Along with a poll from Glengarriff Group. You got No Kamala polls in Nevada. No Kamala polls in North Carolina. You got a Kamala poll in Pennsylvania. These are states that we need to focus on. No polls. Texas. But then there's Virginia. One poll for Trump. A Kamala poll in Washington. We're trying our best. So these are stuff we need to continue to update ourselves. So what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.